Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So inshallah from tonight we're going to be every Saturday we'll go through the hadiths of Imam Ali on self-knowledge. Just before we start, and I'll delve into it right away, there's not that much introduction, just one point, beautiful soul. And it's just one point in the way of introduction. Maybe there is this thing, I don't know what to call it exactly. Maybe you know a word for it that I don't know. Maybe it's a ghafla, whatever it is. It is sometimes something could be right in front of our face, a reality, something, but we just don't notice. Let me give you a few examples so that you get an idea of what I'm trying to say. I've seen it a lot of the times when, for example, people lose a friend, or either the friend passes away, or just moves to a different country, or a family member. They have this moment, many people I've seen this in them. They're like, damn it, when she was here, when he was here, I didn't know how much they mean to me. I wasn't making the most out of it. Or I've seen it a lot, masalan, another thing that I've seen a lot, two friends, two siblings, a parent and a child. One of them passes away, the other one is like, I can't believe I was fighting with mom over this thing. Now that she's gone, now I know, God, how much she meant to me. Why was I not spending every day with her? Why was I not telling her I love her every day? That's hope. What is this thing? I'm talking about this thing that makes us not see something that's right in front of us. And then something crazy has to happen for us to wake up. Although sometimes that crazy thing could be death, could be someone moving away, and we're like, oh my God, this person meant so much to me. Or even with our health. Like, I remember when my knee broke, I had a knee fraction. When I was on the bed, I couldn't walk. Even, for example, for going to the, for like basic needs I had to ask help from Zahra. And I remember back then saying, God, the day I can walk again, I will be so happy. I will be drunk with happiness if I can just walk again. I'll never be sad. I remember saying, I'll never be sad again over, for example, deadlines, etc. But we all know what's going to happen. Are we able to keep that? No. It's like, as soon as your knee is sorted and you can walk again, whew, it goes. Like, that deep understanding goes. So this is what I want to talk about. What is this thing that makes us forget that the person next to us is special, or that walking is precious? It's a kind of sleep. It's a kind of ghafla, right? It reminds me of there was that movie that there was these like a group with superpowers, and they didn't want people to know they exist. When they would, when someone saw that they're there, they would come in front of them, put some powder on the guy, and he would forget that he's ever met someone like that, right? And I feel like a lot of us, this powder has been on us. We forget that people next to us are so special. We forget, masalan, the health, how much, whatever we have of health, how precious that is. We forget certain things. This introduction is so important. Why? Because when you want to start speaking about spirituality, about self-knowledge, Quran says this is going to happen for most people. The most important information they need for their life may come in front of them, but for some reason they may not pay attention to it, right? It's as if there's a source of ghafla, there's a kind of sleep that we're in. Truth can be right in front of us. We may even read it, but for some reason we don't pay attention to it. If you look at the Quran, for example, God says, our signs are all around you. And the Quran says, if you look around, everyone around you, everything around you is pointing you to God. Wherever God is, pointing you inside to God. But Quran says something so interesting. It says most people don't realize. And by the way, those most people are not the neighbors or other people. It's me. It's us. And when I look around, do I really feel like everything is pointing me towards God? No. Obviously no, right? So Quran says, baby, you know why this is happening? This is because of that ghifla. It's like someone, dunyas, put a powder of forgetfulness on you. Something could be right in front of you, your sleep. In the same way that if I'm sleeping, they could masalan bring, I don't know, my favorite food, shawarma, pizza, kebab, in front of me. I'm not going to move. Because I'm not aware of it. It's right in front of me when I'm asleep. But I don't care. Quran says, baby, in this world right now, there's so much truth around you. There's so much deep information that you need, but you're asleep. Allah, that could be the persons in your life that are so precious you're not benefiting. You're not excited every second because you're forgotten. Let God forbid, wasalam, one person pass away, then we all realize, oh my God, this person was so special. Or masalan, like me, your knee gets a fraction. They're like, oh my God, this knee was so important. What happened? We were in sleep. Okay. So this is very important. So there's a high chance, this is what I wanted to tell you, that when we read these hadiths from Imam Ali, we could be asleep. And the truth may be right in front of us, a kind of truth that is enough to change our life, but we may not be careful, like, oh yeah, right? In the same way that, right, most of us, we look at our knees, we're like, yeah, there's a knee, right? So that's very important. Pay attention to this. And by the way, this is why in Islamic spirituality, what is the first level called? Awakening, yaqza, to wake up. And it's so interesting because when you wake up, or not, I say if you've had the experience of a spiritual awakening, wake up, you're in the same place. The house is the same, the people are the same, everything is the same, but it's as if you look at everything differently. And so one of the things that a lot of people report is that when you have a spiritual awakening, then you realize, oh my God, that person had it too, that person had it too, that person, oh, that's why he was doing that, that's why she's doing that. But when you're asleep, you don't notice these things. As you don't notice, Baba, there are so many people around us who are on a journey. They're working for their akhirah, they're working on their soul. We don't even notice. If we see them, we think, oh, what a boring guy. Oh, this guy is not fun. But when we wake up, oh, that's what you were doing. And it's interesting that in the Quran, there's a verse about people who, when they go to the next world, they tell them, how come you didn't make the most out of your life? Maybe these people, look what they've done with themselves. What happened to you? And they say, we wish we had thought. We wish we listened. And it's not that they didn't listen, or they listened, but they didn't listen. They listened in sleep. And that's what happens to most of us. God says there's so much. And as you go high in spiritual awakening and in your relationship with God, you basically reach a place where everything around you is shouting, God is here, God loves you, God is here, God loves you. When your mom comes, when a friend comes, even when pain comes, when difficulty comes, everything is just talking to you to the extent that you're like, how could I ever doubt God exists? Right? That's what it becomes like. You're in the same place. It's just that now you're awake. You were asleep. You were so distracted. I was so distracted by other things. I didn't have the time to listen. So just have that in mind. Okay, it's very likely that we may be reading these hadiths, but we may be asleep. So the first hadith, al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb. Al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb. It says, understanding, ma'rifah, recognition, a certain type of knowledge, which we will explain what that knowledge is. Nurul qalb is the light of heart. This hadith in itself, we may read and be like, knowledge is the light of heart. Masalan, one level of understanding it, if we're asleep, would be, it's saying knowledge is good, right? If we're asleep, we'll be like, yeah, it's saying knowledge is good. Let's move on. We already knew knowledge is good. Imam Ali John, what are you adding to our life? Knowledge is good. I knew this. Who in the world doesn't know that? Right? Yani I'm saying these hadiths, we need to wake up to that slowly. Let's go deeper. Hala, with this one hadith, let's see where we're going to go. Al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb is not just trying to say knowledge is good. No. I mean, it says knowledge, and this is a special type of knowledge. We're talking about self-knowledge, right? Self-knowledge and knowledge of God. Inshallah, we'll get to that hadith. Man arafa nafsah faqad arafa rabbah. The one who knows themselves, their soul, has known God. This is the type of ma'rifah that Imam Ali is talking about. Allah, in the next hadith, he'll explicitly say that. So we're not talking about any type of knowledge here. No, we're talking about this self-knowledge, knowledge of God. Imam says, see, this is like nur. What does light do? What does nur do? See, in a room, if the lights are off, we can't see anything, right? Let me actually do this in real life. Let me turn the lights off so you see what's happening. See, we're doing an interactive discussion. Let me turn the lights off so you see what happens. This is my room, our room, without light. Can you see anything? Look very carefully. What do you see? A little bit light. What happened? The room was there. The room didn't go anywhere. Could you see anything? Plain darkness. Imam says, if you don't have self-knowledge, it's like the light in your heart is turned off. You look inside, you can't find yourself. Right? Qalb, or hala masalan, inshallah we'll talk about it. The scholars, and they say that this qalb itself is like the nafs. There's another hadith that says it. It's who we are. The part of us that makes us insan, that makes us different from, for example, an animal or a plant or a sofa. That part of us, that special part, the part that if I say, how are you? Like, me, there, that part of you. Imam says, when that self-knowledge, there's a kind of knowledge of yourself and God, that if it's not there, you look inside, you can't find yourself. Just like this room when it was dark. We looked, but we couldn't see anything. And then it can get to a place where you may even think, what am I? You look inside, you can't find anything. Then you're like, I must be this hand. I must be this face. I must be this brain. I must be these hairs. Right? And we can get to a place where we forget our soul even exists, which is the place for most human beings right now. They can't find their own soul. They look within, they don't know where to find. And I'm try it yourself. Can you see yourself? Can you see your soul? Do you feel your soul? Like, Sheikh, where? Where should I look? How? Should I close my eyes? I just see a dark screen. There's nothing there. What should I do? Imam says, yes, that's what happens. Because al-ma'rifatu nurul qalb. In the same way that we turned the lights off, we couldn't see anything in the room. When that self-knowledge, that deep knowledge of self and God is not there, you look inside, you can't find yourself. What happens? You forget you're even a soul. What happens? You believe you're this body. And now we're living in a culture that a lot of people around us don't even believe a soul exists, even though they use their soul to even make that claim. And most people around you don't believe humanity has a soul. They're like, no, we're animals just like other animals. We're machines. One day we'll even create a machine smarter than you. Yani, inside there is so little ma'rifah that when they looked inside for so long, they couldn't find themselves. So at one point they gave up and said, there is no soul. And if you think about it, we can be a Muslim and be very similar. A lot of us also, we can't find ourselves. And Quran says, people can reach a place, فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. You can forget yourself. You can forget yourself. Bebin, you'll be like, what What do you mean I've forgotten myself? I'm here, like, how could I forget myself? Yes, I can forget my bag. I can forget my wallet. I can forget my key. How can I forget myself? Myself is always here. No. Yes, yourself is always here. But what are you looking at? If you can't find it, you'll start calling other things yourself. My body is me. My job is me. My sexual, for example, identity is me. That part of me is me. My religion is me. My beliefs are me. You'll find something inside and say, that's me. My hand is me. All of these are things that your soul is benefiting from, your soul is using, but none of them are you. And it's in this state of when we forget who we are that then we get hurt so much, right? Masalan, someone shouts at my face, I get hurt. Hey, you're shouting at me. You hurt me. Why? Because I don't know I'm the soul. The more you know the soul, you realize no one can touch your soul. No one can hurt your soul. But if I think I'm this body, well, people can harm this body. So I keep getting hurt. People can have taller bodies, thinner bodies, I don't know, nicer hair. And they're like, oh, they're better than me. People could have faster brain. Oh, they're better than me. When I forget who I am, when I look inside, I can't think anything. I can't see anything other than this body. I think I'm this body. And then when I think I'm this body gets hurt sometimes. This body gets wounds sometimes. This body may be slower than other people's bodies. I don't know, maybe, So I keep getting hurt. I keep and all of this is because I still don't know who I am. So initially, I'm hoping this gets us to a place, and I say again, we could hear all of this and be like, yeah, whatever, then moving with our life, right? But if we're not asleep in the way that we were speaking about it, if for 1 second we just take this seriously, this could change the course of our life. That I am living, I don't know who I am. Maybe Imam says, you can't see yourself. What are you looking at? Maybe in the mirror, you're seeing these glasses, these eyebrows, this skin. These are not you. This is what you can't, don't you want to meet yourself? Isn't it weird that you look inside and you can't find yourself and you just continue living? Which is the other hadith from Imam Ali. It says, I'm so shocked that people lose something, they keep looking for it. Oh, my wallet, where is it? Oh, it's upstairs, is it downstairs? Is it here? Is it there? They keep looking for it. But they've lost themselves and they're not looking for themselves. They're not looking for themselves. We're not looking for ourselves. So Imam says, it is possible. It doesn't have to be like this. You can look inside and see. You can look inside and realize, oh, wow, there's much more to me, right? And just like when we turned the lights off and we couldn't see anything in this room, just because it was dark, it didn't mean there's nothing there. And the same way, just because, I don't know if you look within and you can't see anything, doesn't mean there's not more to you. There's so much more. Let me just turn the lights off and I want to do a practice with you. Alon, I want you to try your best. See, what can you do? Look within, whatever that means. Close your eyes. I don't know. Try your best to see if you can find where you are. Where's your soul? Where are you? Please, do whatever you need to do. You've got 10 seconds. You want to close your eyes? Do you want to look for yourself? See if you can find yourself. Did you find yourself? Where are you? What are you like? What is the soul like? Your body, I know what's your body like. What is your soul like? And I can't even say your soul because it's not like there is a you that has a soul. You are that soul. What are you like? Do you have a shape? What are you? حالا Imam says, if this becomes interesting for you, if you're like, yeah, it's actually quite important for me to know who I am, right? Then slowly, you'll go towards it. You'll think about it through reflection. You'll start a search, and that's where your journey of life actually starts. Before that, what are we doing? Imam says, if this journey starts, if this becomes important for you, and you take it seriously, slowly, a dim light will turn on, and it'll get more and more and more, and you'll discover things about yourself. And those are going to be so powerful. It's a superpower to know yourself. And most of the problems we have, I would say all of the problems we have, is just that we don't know ourselves. And so let's start being curious. I'm hoping that you start being curious about this. And let me say a few things that maybe gets you curious about this. One of the things they always tell us is what? Have hudur al-qalb in your salah, right? Have remembrance of heart. Remember God in your heart when you're praying, when you're doing your salah. And if anyone has prayed in their life, they know that's the hardest thing in the world, right? By saying like, Allahu Akbar, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Oh, tomorrow I have to do that class. Alhamdulillah. Our mind immediately goes somewhere else. We start thinking about other things. Has it ever occurred to you or to me to ask ourselves, isn't this my mind? How come it doesn't listen to me? Why can't I get me to think about what I want? I can get my hand to do whatever I want, right? Go up, goes up, go down, goes down, left, right. My mind, a very important part of me. How come I can't get it to do what I want? In the prayer, mate, for 3 minutes, focus on God. It doesn't listen. Why? Why have we, as a whole society and culture, accepted that that's a normal thing? Imam Ali says that's not. You can have full control of your mind. The reason you can't is that you don't even know what your mind is, who you are. Maybe in your hand, you know where to send a signal to hand, go up. Your mind, you don't even know what it looks like. You don't know where your is, what's your soul. You can't fix it. Let me give you another example to maybe get you curious in how important it is to know ourselves and how little we know of ourselves. Has it ever happened to you that you make a decision to stop a bad habit and a few days later it happens? Oops. Okay. One mistake, it's okay. I'll start again. I won't do this. You go on, a few days, again it happened. Is it not interesting that I can't get me to stop something that I do? Am I not doing it myself? So how come I can't make the decision to stop? And I know, by the way, I know the neuroscientific answer of how addictions work, how habits are formed. Don't give me that. All of that are in your body. All of those are meant to be in your service. And you can have, you're right? I know all of those. But all of those are meant to be in your service. How come we can't get ourselves to do what we want? I want to wake up earlier in the morning. I always fail. I want to go to the gym. After a few months, I stop. For every person is different. Get curious in these things. And Imam says it's possible. It's possible to have full control of yourself, your mind. Your mind keeps giving scary thoughts. And you're like, please stop. It doesn't. Imam says all of this is because you've forgotten who you are. And now in this culture, because we've forgotten this deeper reality of who we are, it's like we're trying to find solutions, but the solutions are so shallow. مثلا خب I don't want to mention the techniques because you may be using them and they're helping you a little bit. But I'm saying every solution, no matter how little it helps, they're so shallow because they're not even addressing the main issue, which is you knowing yourself. Once you go and fix that from the bottom, you don't need to learn a technique to tell your mind not to give you these thoughts. Aslan, it won't come because it's under your control. Imam Ali is saying. And also, it's a slow process, yani we slowly, it's not like masalan tomorrow you're like perfect control over mind. Nah, there's a light that this light is like maybe initially it's a candle light, then it grows, then it grows, then it grows, then it grows, and as you know more about yourself, slowly you'll see its impact. Hope, let's go to the next one, the next hadith. So far we have done one, and that is al-ma'rifatu nur al-qalb. The next hadith is very similar, but it says in different words. It says at-tawhidu hayatun nafs. At-tawhidu hayatun nafs. It's a very beautiful one. In the first one we said al-ma'rifatu. In here it says tawheed. And then there it says it's the nur. Here it says hayat. In the other one said, baby, the more your knowledge of yourself and God increases, it's like a light turns on and you can see more of yourself. Here it says, baby, it's even deeper than that. It's as if you get a whole new life. Hayatun nafs. And the more you know yourself, it's as if your level of life goes higher and higher and higher and higher. And you look back and you're like, was I even alive? Wow, what was that I was living? Ascend, it says it brings life to you. The more you know yourself, the more you become alive. And honestly, Masalan, one of the things I usually mention in my lectures is that adults are so interesting. If you compare adults to children, you see how that life is gone. Very few adults are excited about life. Yeah, life, yeah, gotta wake up, go to the work. You just have coffee in the morning to get your eyes a little bit open so you can go sit at your desk and do these things, and then so boring, you need a few minutes on Facebook to just not die of boredom and just anger at this work, and then you go on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. And then look, one of the things I tell uni students, see how many of uni professors are excited when they come to the class. In these conferences that we go, how many people you see they're alive? They're like, yeah, they come read from a paper. And I'm not judging anyone. This is something that's happened to all of us. We are living, but we're not alive. We're not like children. We're not enjoying life. And Imam says that's because we have lost this type of knowledge. Imagine trying to walk in a dark room. That's what we're doing in this world. It's like our eyes are closed. It's like all senses are shut. And Imam says the more you get this self-knowledge, the more you become alive, the more you find yourself. And I think for the first night, this is enough. Again, inshallah, we can continue next week. Let me just see if I haven't missed anything.